Hey guys, you're watching A to Geeks. My name's Kira, and today we are going to be taking a look at The Turning. The Turning is a modern-day adaptation of Henry James's novel The Turn of the Screw, and that is honestly all I could tell you about the plot of this film, because the whole thing was lost on me. I have no clue what the main thread was supposed to be. I haven't much of an idea of what any of the other little side quests that anybody went on throughout the story were also meant to be. As for the ending, there wasn't one. They forgot to add it in. Like the film, we just got given the first 2/3 of whatever the final cut was supposed to be, apparently. It was, without a doubt, the messiest film that I have ever seen, and I would go as far as to say it is definitely one of the worst that I've ever had the pleasure of viewing as well. I genuinely have never wanted to get out of a cinema faster than when I was watching this. You know, I feel bad for all of the actors involved in this, especially, you know, the three who, you know, made up this lead triangle, so to speak. I mean, probably the name that most people will recognise is Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things and It. You know, we've seen fabulous things from him in the past. I think even he was bad in this film, right? I really don't know if it was, you know, he just had absolutely no confidence in the project that he was working on, or if the material he had to work with was just that terrible that what you see is all he could elevate it to, which, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. But he really felt below par in this film, which, I mean, for everything else that was wrong with it, I suppose to come off slightly below par it's not that much of a tragedy, I suppose. We had Mackenzie alongside him, and she kind of was catapulted to fame after a little role she had in Blade Runner 2049, and you know, she's kind of become someone who's a bit of a woman of the moment. You see her in quite a few things now, her name's popping up all over the place. I really don't see that this choice is gonna work wonders for a career, to be honest. It was a very weak character that she played, and I didn't care for her at all. I really couldn't get behind what was going on here. It was a tough watch, you know, and not for how scary it was, not for how uncomfortable it made me feel, because certainly it was lacking in all areas to do with those aspects. It was so flat and so boring. You know, I think it's fair to say, certainly had fairly decent foundations. You know, there was something there they could have built off of and made at least an average film, but they didn't. I went in with an open mind and, you know, was prepared to be somewhat surprised. Not completely swept off my feet by the film, but certainly to not have it turn out as bad as I was expecting it to. But it just didn't happen. If anything, it was worse than what I thought I was walking into. I'm actually at a loss for words for what to say about this film, because it's just an utter car crash. There is no scares, and I mean, they went to town with trying to set up these jump scares, which is, it's so lazy, but at the same time, they often work. They didn't work here, not once. And for me to not even flinch, like, that's just, it's telling. Let's put it that way. It is telling when a jump scare doesn't get me. I'm dumbfounded. There is nothing, it didn't do anything with the few things that it had going for it to start off with. I mean, I'm just not going to be able to ever get it out of my head, I don't think, that I voluntarily put myself up to go and see this film. And half an hour into it, I was looking at my watch thinking, do you know what, this has got to be over soon. And then obviously found out that we were only that far into it, and still decided to stick around and see how it panned out, and kept hanging on, and I swear to God, it was the slowest 60 minutes of my life. To think that I sat there, I watched it, and thinking there's going to be some kind of a resolution at the end. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, there is not. They just chopped off the final third of this film by the looks of things, forgot to finish it. You're kind of sent off into this fantasy world that our lead character embarks upon after staring at these burnt pieces of paper, and you know, you think there's some kind of, you're in the final act of the film, it's going to get all wrapped up here, and then at the end of that, it cuts back to this shot. I don't even care if I'm spoiling this, because there's nothing to spoil. There's, it cuts back to this shot of her staring at these charcoal bits of paper again, and then the film ends. What is that? You make me sit there for 90 minutes and you don't even give me an ending. Like, the cheek of the people who put this film together, it's unreal. To subject me to that and then not even be any kind of closure to it. I mean, what do you think, you're going to get a sequel? Because I'm telling you now, that's not happening. It was terrible. The worst film I've seen, certainly this year, probably of last year. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it's the worst film I've seen in the last 10 years. And I've seen some utter tripe, believe me, right? This is, without a doubt, one of the worst cinematic experiences I have ever had. So there you have it. That is my review of The Turning. In fact, it's probably not a review, it's more of a public safety announcement. If you've got any thoughts on this film, good or bad, or you just want to sling a few shots in there, then that's fine by me. Leave them in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get all the alerts when we've got a new video dropping. And above all else, guys, remember to keep it geeky. It got a bit ranty there, I didn't mean.